Hi and welcome to my channel. So if you're somebody who wants to move overseas to a country like the UK, we know that if you study nursing, you kind of know in the back of your brain 99.9% that you are going to succeed to move. But there's been one obstacle over the years that is really hindering this process for overseas nurses and midwives, and this has been IELTS or OET. So that's the occupational English test as well as the international English language test. And this is because to move to the UK as a qualified nurse or a qualified midwife, you need to have the required scores by the Nursing and Midwifery Council in the UK, which is the regulator for these professions, obviously, in this country. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about a recent update that I absolutely love, because the NMC in the UK finally scrapped the need to write out to OET for a huge number of, nurses and midwives. And so an article was published yesterday saying that more nurses have been able to join the NMC register to work in the UK as qualified nurses, despite never having written the IELTS or OET because of the new laws that were introduced by the NMC. So that's what I'm talking about in today's video. And if you're watching this and you're a qualified nurse and you're still like, oh my God, I'm struggling with IELTS, OET, know that there are pathways that the NMC has scrapped and you don't need to necessarily write IELTS or OET, even if you did train overseas as a nurse or a midwife. So if you're new to my channel, obviously you're welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, I appreciate your time. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, you want to hit that subscribe button so you're the first to be notified every single day when I drop a new video on here at 10 a.m. prompt UK time. But most importantly, I do have a free newsletter where I send information about free UK visa sponsorship opportunities to move to the UK or to switch your visa if you're already in the UK, work from home jobs that you can do, earn a lot of money even without a degree, without any experience. Training is often provided, side hustle ideas that you can earn a lot of money to supplement, enhance your income so you can retire early, kind of live a beautiful life, because most of these jobs don't really pay high enough, as well as career progression. Look, I'm a nurse myself. As somebody that I started my own UK journey working as a healthcare assistant, a carer in a nursing home. I then realized I was doing the same thing day in, day out, and I thought, look, I cannot continue the rest of my career like this. And I decided to study nursing, which I did as an international student here in the UK. Upon successful graduation, obviously, I graduated with a first class degree in adult nursing. I went on to do my mentorship in nursing qualification at master's level. Within 5 years of qualifying as a nurse, I was already working as an advanced nurse practitioner, which is the most senior clinical nursing position in the profession. And right now, I'm concluding my third year Master of Science in Advanced Clinical Practice. So career progression is something that I'm particularly passionate about. So, it's something that I live and breathe. It's something that I absolutely love. It's something that I think we all should be aiming towards to ensure that we actually work to our best potential and even supersede even that potential. Why not? So I have a free newsletter where I send this information. If you check the comment section below, you're going to find a link to that newsletter. It's also got my contacts. If you've got anything personal you want to ask, otherwise leave a comment in the comment section. But I have a private career coaching program where I offer personalized guidance. You know what I mean? If you're struggling, you want a career progression, you're thinking about different pathways, you're not really understanding this English thing, and you need that tailored guidance, I can offer that through my private coaching program, which you can find on the about section of this channel or the description box below. You see what it's all about. Once you join, we can get started. So what has happened about this English test? So obviously, as you know, a few months ago, the NHS, in fact, they did a whole consultation that took forever, and eventually it was agreed that the standards should be changed. I don't want to say the standards should be lowered, but the standards should be changed and updated so that more overseas nurses can be accommodated to work in the UK. Obviously, as you know, they're very short-staffed. It's something that it's ongoing. They're trying to fix this, but to get a nurse is not easy. So these changes were put in place so that overseas nurses can work in the UK without IELTS or OET. And by so doing, the hope was that more nurses and midwives obviously would qualify and would become eligible to join the NMC register and work in this country. So that is what has happened. A month ago, this was fully implemented. And in my private coaching program, I have quite a few hundred nurses that are currently going through this pathway. And so I deal with this every day. And look, it's a great process to go through, but there are quite a few steps that you need to take if you're going through this. I've done a whole video explaining all of this pathway on this channel. If you haven't seen that video, please do have a look, because I explain all of the pathways in a lot of detail. This is more of an update if you want to know that, but it's all about providing references, providing evidence to support your application on the fact that you don't need to be doing that out of OET or in order to be exempted, kind of. That's what it is all about. So like I say, I have a private career coaching program. Some of the nurses have successfully had their PIN number, which is so incredible. It's absolutely amazing. And many of the nurses are still going through the process at different stages, trying to gather that evidence, because it is quite a lot of evidence that you need to gather. And sometimes some of these things can take a lot of time, because you also have to liaise with your nursing council, obviously, where you originally did your training. Because imagine that this is for overseas candidates, people who trained as nurses outside of the UK, obviously, or in institutions that are not generally recognized by the NMC for automatic, renewal of your PIN number, or granting really of your PIN number. So you need to understand these differences if you're studying nursing. And by the way, if you're watching this and you're wondering whether you would be eligible or not, I want you to leave a comment in the comment section below. Are you a qualified nurse? Do you have a degree or a diploma? Which country did you train? Where do you currently work? What's your main objective right now? Have you started this process of working in the UK as a nurse? If you have, where are you right now? If you're currently working in the UK in any, job, as a carer, whatever position it is, what is your objective? Where did you train? Have you started the process? Where are you? Because it is an amazing opportunity. If you're working as a carer right now and there is a pathway that you can work as a nurse, I don't understand why you wouldn't pursue that pathway, why you wouldn't put in the required effort, energy, in order for you to get that PIN number. Because not only is it going to be a pay boost and a pay rise for you, but it's also you transitioning back into that career, into that profession that you've taken the time to learn, to study, you know what I mean, to gain that qualification, which is hugely, relevant in every single part of the world. So it is worth it. That's what I'm saying. And in my coaching program, we have that supportive community where no matter where you're from, there's going to be someone else in the program from that place who is going through the process, who can guide you as well. Having that community support, for me, that's really what makes a difference. Because when you're trying to do this alone, if you've got questions, it can be very challenging. Of course, you can ring the NMC and ask for information, but it's really difficult sometimes to just be like, oh, I've got this question, get to the NMC. I've got this question, get to the NMC. It can be very challenging to get that. But our members have this community where they get support from each other, get support from, the questions, because look, lots of things are going to arise when it comes to the documentation. Like I've explained in the video where I talked about all of these, there are many steps to this that you need to follow, and you need to make sure that you've got the perfect documents as the NMC wants them to be. Otherwise, it can be very, very difficult to successfully go through this pathway, which is why you need to be super duper vigilant. So again, I was just excited to do this update to talk about the fact that they have officially announced that more nurses have joined the NMC register because of this pathway, because obviously they are closely tracking the numbers. And even me, I'm very impressed, and I'm glad to have been part of this journey, of this process, to continue to be part of the journey. And I thank nurses in my program who have been very supportive towards each other as well, because it's very difficult, when you're going through that path. You don't know when it's going to lead. You don't know where you're going to get to. You don't know how long it's going to take. You're probably written out OET several times. You're probably still preparing for it. And I'll just say, don't be disheartened. Is to carry on until you get your own PIN number as well. Because once you do, then endless opportunities are going to be open for you in this country. Career progression opportunities that you've never imagined. Again, in my coaching program, I do have 15 different career progression pathways for nurses, where they want to become a nurse anesthetist, nurse endoscopist, advanced nurse practitioner. That's what I do myself. You want to become a nurse manager, a specialist nurse, research nurse, whatever specialty you're interested in, there is something for everybody. You've got courses, interview questions, interview preparation. If you're still wanting to get into nursing afresh, again, there are pathways for this, which are both funded and non-funded. Again, I've done videos about all the different pathways on this channel, so you 100% want to check them out. And if you're sat there still thinking, oh, I'm a nurse back home, I'm an overseas nurse, and do I need IELTS? Do I need OET? I'm telling you now that this pathway has been fully implemented. People have already had their PIN numbers. Obviously, not so many people because it's only just started, and as a matter of time, in just a matter of time, obviously more people are going to get their PIN numbers through this pathway, but it is worth pursuing. It needs that extra energy, that extra force, and that extra push, but ultimately it is going to be worth your time, that of your beautiful family, for your own career, so they can get back into a profession that you love, because nursing, you know, it's not all about the money while we do the job, but it's the passion as well, you know, to be with our clients, to support our patients and all of that. If you've got any questions, please do leave them in the comment section below. I just thought I should give you this update to say this process is on, it's going on, people are getting their PIN numbers, and if you're still behind, please join the bandwagon so that you can get your own PIN number as well and start the process at least, and don't be stuck behind. So thank you. Watch this other video that I've done about the pathways to get your NMC PIN number without IELTS or OET. I'll see you in